Well, it is the last part of this lab. Let's go over with the independent sample t-test. So the research question is, it wants to know if female students have a different anxiety level than the male students in NYU. So notice that it involves with two independent groups and would like to know if the female's anxiety level is any different from the male. Uh, uh, Males. So it's good to go with the independent t-test. So in the independent t-test is a little bit different from the one sample or paired sample t-test computationally. We treat the gender as independent variable, whereas the angst base becomes a dependent variable. We coded the one for female and two for male. So following through the steps of a hypothesis testing, that we have to state the hypothesis. So our interest is to see if the female's anxiety level is any different from the males. So the word different could possibly contain greater than or less than, which means a two-tailed test. So the alternative hypothesis should go like mu1 is not equal to mu2 because as a researcher we expect to see the difference between the two groups. So, and mu1 is a population mean anxiety score of female students, whereas mu2 is a population mean anxiety score of male students. Now let's go with the SPSS with using angst base as a dependent variable and gender as independent and also group variable. Let's go for it. Okay. So to analyze and compare means independent sample test. So choose angst base. The test variable is our dependent variable. Then gender would be gender as an independent variable. Its function as a grouping variable here. Then define groups, we code one for female and two for male. Okay. Okay. So we've got the result here. We have two tables. Okay, let's walk through it. Here. So this table is that's called the summary for female and male. The sample mean, standard deviation, and standard error of the mean for each variable. So you see here the anxiety score for female is greater than male. So we're going to see whether the difference between these two numbers is significant or not. So this is the table of a test, the independent. So this is the result of independent sample t-test. So in the first section, look at the first section called the Levin's test for equality of variance. So the Levin's test shows the hypothesis testing result of equal variances among groups. Actually, the equivariance among group is the precondition to be met when we are comparing the groups. So we're testing. It shows the testing result of equivariance among groups. So here, the null hypothesis is equivariances. So we are happy if we see the null hypothesis hold in this particular case. The result here shows a statistic with the p-value. As the p-value is 0.377 is greater than 0.05, so we retain the null, indicating equivariance is assumed. So we'll take the result of the first row here. From this, we take the result of the first row because its equivariance is assumed. If it's not, the equivariance is violated, it's not assumed, that you should take the result, the second row here. Okay. So here's the mean difference and standard error of the difference. As you can see, the standard error of the difference is it's computed a different way from the this is a little bit different from the one sample to the pellet sample, because we use the pooled sample variance is by this formula, and we got the it's a little complicated, but we've got the value for this statistic is a 0.856 0.859. Okay, so here the statistic computed by this, the mean difference over the standard error of the mean difference. So this number 0.859 is came from this part. Okay. And also the degrees of freedom for independent sample t-test is computed by this, like by summing up the two samples and minus 2, the number of groups, that it becomes 98. Then we have a p-value here. So p-value is 0.033. Is obviously smaller than 0.05. So we have to reject the null. We have to reject null. Okay. Then the confidence interval. So we are 95% confident that the interval range from 0.15 to 3.56. It covers the two population mean difference. So notice that this interval does not contain the zero value, implying that there is no chance that the two population mean difference could be zero. So this result from confidence interval is consistent with the result from hypothesis testing, because we've got the significant result from hypothesis testing. Okay, this is the report in APA style. The independent sample t-test showed that the difference in anxiety scores between the female students and the male students was statistically significant, and so on and so forth. So to just make sure to use the lowercase n for the subgroup of size within the total sample. So this is the end of the whole presentation, and thank you for watching.